Hello and welcome. I'm making this video to explain how to do water maintenance on my fish tanks. Here we have Milo and Mila, and as you can tell, their water is not in bad shape at all. We have a little floating plant guy up there. I'll be sure to grab that. And there's Kevin hiding down there. But I like to do a water change like once a week, just keep the levels down. So I'm going to take you through all that today. And then whenever I'm doing it for these guys, I also just do it for the gups up here. Say hi, guppers. Alright, so you can see that the time's up now, and we're ready to check what's happened. I put the test tubes on a white background so you can better see it, but each one corresponds to things. So my pH is sitting right at 6 or maybe below. Nothing would really change that though, because I use the same water every time. The ammonia is good. It's in probably 50 ppm range. Nitrates good also. Nitrites are good, also in the 50 ppm range. But then you see now the nitrates are high in both tanks. So I would put about 80, 40 or 80 range. I mean, that's really normal for the Oscars. Then you can see that the gups are doing a little bit better. They're probably in the 20, 40 range. So you don't have to do that every time. If you're like me and just do water changes weekly, you don't really have to test the water, and if you know what to look for in the tank, you'll be good. Alright, so I'll start the water change process here at the Oscar tank. First thing you're going to want to do is disconnect the heater and the filter. Obviously my heater's over here and it's vertical, and I plan on draining the water down past where the heater is, and that will cause it to heat up when it's exposed, and you could get browning or burning like I have done previously. But that heater still works fine and temperature's stable, so I'm not worried about it. I did have to buy a new heater for the guppy tank at one point though, because I fried a little cheap one I had in here. So I know for me that I always am putting those two plugs at the top here, filter top and heater below, so that way I can still run the lights and see what I'm doing, but now everything is secured over here. And then for the guppy tank, I just flip their switch, which is back there, and turn everything off because their water change is significantly quicker. For me, I have this bucket for my water changes. You can see there's all sorts of tubing and a clamp. I put the clamp up here like this. This will be important later. Sorry, that spooked the Oscars there. And then I take out all my tubing, which may or may not have some water left in it. And the bucket, this bucket is only for water changes. I never use it for anything else. We're going to take this out and bring this to the bathroom. This is the sink to tank connection, and this is the siphon to outside tubing. This tubing here gets used for both filling and draining. So I put that in good, and it makes a, I don't know if it's watertight, but the flow is draining it past. It has no back pressure to want to overcome that. Put that over there. Grab this end. Kind of flake out the tubing so that it doesn't have any crazy knots or kinks. Stick this just outside of the back door onto the concrete pad. Bring this over. And then because last time I did a good job gravel vacuuming and the levels weren't crazy and the tank's not that dirty, today I'll just be doing the filter and the water change. But you can see I'm just squeezing this part to get the siphon started. And then you can basically walk away from it now at this point. It will take a little while to drain all the water out of this 75-gallon tank, but if you were going to gravel vac, you can just watch like this and siphon out the bad stuff from the tank. This is all like fish waste and other things. The Oscars do a good job of churning the dirt and getting the waste out of the gravel themselves, and you'll find more waste in like slow flow areas, like over by this rock, maybe over by the plants. So yeah, so I will just set that in there, and then be keeping an eye on it every couple minutes or so. Good to have a towel around if you're gonna play fish tank. Alright, now that this is draining out and filling up my back porch, I'm gonna take care of the filter. So this is my bucket. I'm gonna put in like a couple gallons of water from the hose into it. This is a 5 milliliter per 10 US gallons. Double the dose to replace slime coat and to repair damaged skin and fins. So if I fill this bucket halfway, it would only need 2.5 milliliter of filling. So halfway to the 5 milliliter line, which I will do like that. It's okay to be liberal with this stuff because the more the merrier, and you're allowed to double the dose to help replace skin fins and stuff. But now I'm just gonna fill this up. Oh, the hose was loose. The hose was loose. That's fun. Awesome. Anyways, fish tanks is like a wet hobby anyway, so whatever. So yeah, I'll just fill this up and get the API stress coat mixed in, and then we're going to use this bucket to clean out our filter internals. Alright, now that we have our bucket full of water, we'll go over here, we'll take out the first layer. This is the heavy scrubber filter, and I'll generally just take it, mix it around this bucket like this. You can take this out. Shake it around, squeeze it out. Honestly, filter's not in too bad of shape today. Put that to the side. This is the fine scrubber filter. This one's a little bit more fragile, so you just want to be careful with it when it's saturated like that. Also not in bad shape. So these are both mechanical cleaning. It smells like skunk. I wonder if there's a skunk around somewhere. Here are our bio blocks. This is the reason why we even treat this water at all, because this stuff is coated in good bacteria. So you don't want to kill all that with chlorinated water at all. So we'll just dunk those guys in there and set them back in. A lot of times these ones don't want to sit flat or could cause you trouble when you're putting it back into the filter system. So just zhuzh them around and make them sit better. Like that. And last but not least, our activated charcoal. This stuff doesn't really get dirty. And then lastly, you're just gonna dump out all the water that was trapped in the filter, because it's got like a much higher concentration of disgustingness than the rest of the water. take this, drop that back in there like that, line up this part with the hole here, put your gasket back on, put the filter lid back on, make sure it's sitting nice and flat, you're not forcing anything to clip, and you're done with the filter. You can also dump out your dirty fish poop water now too. And bring this back inside, you'll need that. You can see I just turned the filter back on. It's not making any hard cavitation noises, running nice and quiet. You can see it shot out a bunch of junk that was trapped in the tubes. That's normal. I like to get the filter done before all the water's drained out so that all this stuff has a chance to be sucked out during the water change. Normally, also Kevin just goes nuts and loves all that stuff. It's like a feeding frenzy for him. So now that our filter is back on service, we have another thing that we can do just to kind of kill some time. We'll get our refill station set back up. So basically this is just your normal pipe connection, rubber connection or something. And what I'm going to do is put my ratcheting screwdriver on forward and tighten this to my faucet. So that's fine. It does leak a little bit, so to avoid spraying, I just put that over it. And then you can take the hose and run it all the way over here. And we're just gonna wait to do the final connection with that. I have one connection that is known to leak in my thing because I failed to Teflon tape it. So I'd get this little dog dish. It leaks like 4 or 5 drops over the course of changing the water. But yeah, I just put this under there like that, maybe there, and that'll be good. Also, while the Oscar tank is draining, I will fill up a bucket with shower water. I'm pouring 10 mils of this into the little shot glass it comes with. So that is a double dose for 5 gallons. Like I said, the more the merrier with this stuff. It's good for the fish, and it gives me peace of mind that they're, all the water they're getting is being properly dechlorinated. I'll set this in here, and I do it to like I do the shower to about where I would normally shower in. I mean, like a little bit cooler. You're trying to give the fish like 75-degree water. So maybe I'll set the bucket to the side for now and wait for this to heat up before you actually fill the bucket. But you just want it to be right in the vicinity of like lukewarm, maybe a little bit greater. You don't want to give them too cold water. And 5 gallons will be enough because the guppy tank is only 10 gallons. So if I'm doing a 50% water change, this bucket is enough. All right, now that there's plenty of water out of the Oscar tank, you can see we're low. I'm well below the filter inlet, so I secured the filter off service. I'll just pull this up, stop the siphoning, give this a couple squeezes maybe, and then I'm going to rest it there. Reach over here. I turn off everything for the guppy tank because their process happens so quickly. So again, you would be worried about cross-contaminating stuff in your water at this point, but I always go Oscar to guppy because there's so few fish in here and there is no disease. These guys' tank takes like no time at all to drain out since you're only moving like less than 5 gallons. Just got to be careful not to capture any baby gups in the siphon, so I'll pin it in some rocks. These guys don't make enough waste to do their tank any harm on a weekly basis. These guys would probably need they could probably be down to like once a month. Even the filter thing over there says 30 days, 30% water change. So these guys are just getting their water changed because I'm doing it anyways with the hose. Alright, now the guppy tank is nice and low. It's hard to tell because it's dark, but I bring it to about the bottom of where the filter inlet would be. And you can see that there's like little to no water in the entire tank. This heating element is completely in midair, so that's why you would want to disconnect everything. And actually, I'm like halfway through the inlet for the filter, so if that was still on, that would be sucking air now, which is no good. Right here is a big flat rock and a big plant, so that's where I'm going to be aiming for the water from the bucket to splash down into. That way it doesn't just wash out the whole tank. So we grab our bucket here, and I don't know how well this will come out on camera, but I usually balance it, get good hands on it, and just dump it in. Alright, so now that you've re-added your water, and I splashed a little bit during the refill process. Now that you've re-added your water, you can go ahead and put the lights and everything back on service. So we'll go ahead and do that with the flip of our switch here. So we had a couple things move around. You want to make sure that you're still making bubbles, your filter's still on, everything like that. The water's going to be cloudy because it does inevitably stir up some amount of debris and dirt and stuff, but what you can do now is make sure that the filter is sat up as high as it wants to be, and then just top off the water. I like to go right to that outlet so that water still flows out of the filter. I don't know if you can see this, but water still comes out of the filter, can't go back in, but they have a lot of water because for some reason this tank evaporates more than the other one. That's the guppy tank done. Look at these guys. They get all cornered and freaked out when they lose their water. It's okay, guys, give me 10 more minutes and you'll have all your water back. So next thing I'm gonna do is gravity drain out this tube of any water that's left from the siphoning process, which is just, once you get to this point you can just disconnect that. That doesn't have any water left in it, and now I just raise my hose up so that it would want to run out. So I've got all the hose running vertically, higher than the low point, which is jammed in the door down there. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that's draining now, or that's drained. I'll come here, I'll grab this end of the hose, affix it to here so that it points down into the Oscar tank. Now this end we'll go and hook up the same way that we had it hooked into the siphon system. You just jam this diameter hose into the other one, and then that makes a good seal. Now, I felt something shift, so I come back here, look. Yep, that looks good to me. This is pretty low for this tank. I'd say it's got about a third in it. So that would be 25 out of 75 gallons, which means we probably took out 50. I double dose this tank every time because the Oscars are always jamming into the rocks and getting, skin and fin damage. And so isn't Kevin. Sometimes they nip Kevin during high stress moments. So I just double dose. So I'll do 5 pours of 10 mLs of this stuff. So it's 5 per 10 US gallons, 5 mLs per 10 US gallons. So you really could get away with less. But if you would just do 5 half cups normally. But the more the merrier with this stuff. It gives me peace of mind. And that's it. Now you can come over to the bathroom. Make sure that this is still set up good. That looks good to me. And then you just can turn this on. I always go full cold and then like 3/4 hot. And now just come back over here. Make sure that all the water is coming through here. We've treated the water, so we don't have to be worried about what's in this water going in there. And once this fills up, we'll be done. Alright, now the tank's full. You can't see any bubbles from up here. Go and shut off the taps over here. I don't know if you noticed, but the tank was very cloudy. That's just aeration from the tap here, like air getting in, that aerates it, but all that bubbles will be gone by the morning and the tank will be perfectly crystal clear. Undo this hose fitting, and then you're going to gravity drain this hose into the tank like normal. You can see the water level dropping through here. Doop, 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 doop. And I'm coiling the hose as I go. Sometimes you really got to get a lot of height out of it. And then once I get past this hose connection point, I just pull it out. Actually, this one's harder to do. I just pull it out, and now I'm only working with this end. And this one's really hard because you can barely see where the water level is due to all this growth in the tube. But the growth is actually a good thing for the hose. It means that there's good bacteria and all sorts of stuff like that. So we're just gravity draining this hose out, reset, coil it up, drain out. And then you can hear when the hose gets emptied. It's not perfect. There's going to be like drops of water left, but you can take this out. Put that in the bucket. And everybody's happy. Everyone's back in their spots now that they have all their water. And that's basically it. I just pick up all my stuff and And it's a little bit late that I'm doing this now. It's almost 7, so I had switched their automatic lights on. So I'll just go ahead and turn the automatic lights back to auto, and then we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming. I hope this helps. These bubbles is what I was talking about. That's normal. That'll come. Those will settle and come out, and everybody's happy. Thanks for watching.